Leaders of several Chicago area community and religious organizations say they are terrified by the growing number of hate crimes and domestic terrorism attacks in this country. And today they met with Illinois Senator Dick Durbin.
He is sponsoring legislation to force federal agencies to do a better job tracking those incidents. Dane Placco has the story.
I say we are getting these hate mails and phone calls.
Leaders of a dozen minority and religious organizations telling Senator Dick Durbin the hate is ratcheting up.
When does this cross the line into domestic terrorism?
This is part of an initiative to stop white supremacists. All of the people listed in support of this are social engineering Democrats. If Dick Durbin, Richard Blumenthal, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, and all the rest are really sincere about quelling white supremacy, wouldn't it make sense to tone down all of the anti-white rhetoric and policies in this country? No one wants to see innocent people massacred. Why continue to fuel and provoke white supremacy?
A sanctuary city, yeah!
What's happening with respect to her position on refugees here in Europe? She is on the right side of history on this.
Ich bin der Auffassung, dass wir in 20, 30 Jahren gar keine ethnischen Mehrheiten mehr haben in unserer Stadt. Das ist das, was wir haben werden in der Zukunft. Und ich sage Ihnen noch ganz deutlich, gerade hier in Richtung rechts, das ist gut so.
Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America, from then and on, will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
White people are cancer. I hope they'll have fun.
And they just have to die.
We'll get the white men tomorrow.
Hate has no home here. We've all seen our places of worship under attack. Our people live in fear. They're constantly told you are not welcome here.
It is no surprise CAIR is also involved in this. Although one might think CAIR should confront violent Muslims in this country, they aren't interested in doing that. What they want to do is bust white people instead. When Muslims shut up the naval station in Pensacola, Florida, CAIR said nothing.
We're back with the Fox News alert. 6 Saudi nationals taken into custody after a Saudi gunman, a terrorist, opens fire, killing 3 people at a naval air station in Florida.
They were busy calling for the discipline of military cadets.
Tonight, both West Point and the U.S. Naval Academy have launched investigations into what cadets and midshipmen meant when they flashed a hand gesture on live TV at Saturday's Army-Navy game.
But it also figures in a mindless game which was showcased on Malcolm in the Middle and has caught on in the military.
Or basically, if you can make the other guy look at your hand when you're doing this, below your waist, you get to hit them in the arm. It's stupid, but hey, you get to hit people.
Whatever those young men were thinking, they ended up giving white supremacists exactly what they crave, a breakthrough moment on national television.
When an American Airlines mechanic who tried to sabotage an airplane was found to have ties to ISIS, CAIR was silent.
Much, a former American Airlines mechanic pleading guilty to trying to sabotage an airplane at Miami International Airport. Abdul Majid Alani admitting he put styrofoam and super glue in the plane's nose, causing its computer system to go down and the pilots to abort the flight back in July. 150 people were on board that flight to the Bahamas. Alani will be sentenced in March. He faces 20 years in prison.
Instead, they concerned themselves with the Halloween costumes of high school students.
Well, now the Tennessee Department of Education has opened up an investigation saying, quote, it was brought to our attention last week that a few York Institute students wore KKK robes on Halloween night at a Jamestown restaurant. Meanwhile, the Council on American Islamic Relations is now condemning that group of 7.
When Aisha Siddiqui received a 15-year prison sentence for plotting to kill police officers with pressure cooker bombs, CAIR said nothing.
A Queens woman has been sentenced to 15 years in federal prison for studying how to make bombs for a terrorist attack. Aisha Siddiqui was arrested in 2015 and pleaded guilty last year. She's accused of looking online for recipes for homemade explosives and shopping for bomb components at Home Depot. Prosecutors say the attack she was plotting would have targeted American law enforcement.
Instead, they were calling for the ban of Confederate memorabilia.
The National Communications Director for CAIR said, quote, symbols glorifying and honoring white supremacy, slavery, and treason should be repudiated by all Americans, not put on display at mainstream venues.
You will know white supremacy is a threat when they have their advocates in government the way the jihadists have the Council on American Islamic Relations.